They tell us we're free to speak, but ask yourself, are we really free or just brave enough to face a backlash? Today, I'll show you why free speech comes with consequences, why those consequences are growing, and what it means for your freedom. Hey, I'm Lana, and this is She's Right. Today, we're talking about a freedom that's supposed to define America, yet is quietly slipping away. Free speech isn't about being comfortable. It's about speaking your truth, standing firm, and accepting that your words will have consequences. If you're not ready for that, you're not exercising free speech. You're pretending you can. Stick with me because by the end, you'll see why defending your voice is more important now than ever, how society punishes dissent, and how to navigate this minefield without losing your liberty or your courage. We hear it all the time. America guarantees freedom of speech. That's true, if by freedom you mean protection from government prosecution. But what about social consequences, professional consequences, online consequences? Think about this. Someone posts an opinion online, maybe something as simple as questioning a trending idea, and suddenly their account is demonetized, their content shadow banned, or they face a public backlash. Legally, no law was broken, but freedom? That feels very different. The reality is, society has learned how to enforce consequences without ever passing a law. Cancel culture, algorithms, workplace policies, these are all tools designed to control speech. And people accept it because they've been conditioned to believe that social punishment is fair, even when it isn't. Ask yourself, if freedom only exists when you say what everyone wants to hear, is that really freedom at all? Let's make this crystal clear. Free speech does not mean freedom from consequences. Every opinion comes with a reaction, and that's part of accountability. If you want to speak freely, you must be willing to face disagreement, criticism, and yes, even backlash. For example, a conservative commentator might share an opinion on social media and face hundreds, sometimes thousands of angry comments, mass reporting, or even temporary suspension or bans. That's not illegal. That's society exercising its reaction, but it's also the reality of speaking your truth. And here's the nuance that many miss. Some people act like consequences equals censorship. They don't. You are legally allowed to speak, but the social cost can be enormous. That's why courage is inseparable from free speech. I want to hear from you. Have you ever held back an opinion because you weren't ready for the reaction or backlash? I have. Comment below. Sharing your story might help someone else find their courage. Social media companies claim they support free expression. But here's the truth. Their algorithms decide who gets heard, what's acceptable, and what just disappears. Your account can be demonetized, your reach reduced, your voice silenced, not by law, but by design. Platforms aren't neutral. They have policies, biases, and economic interests. If your speech threatens those interests, you will be punished. And the scary part, most people don't even notice when they're being censored. The algorithm quietly buries your content, and the illusion of free speech remains intact. And it's not just online. These pressures are leaking into schools, workplaces, and even home lives. Are we ready for that reality? Universities once prided themselves on being bastions of debate. Now they often demand conformity. A student challenges a prevailing ideology, risks suspension. A professor presents research that contradicts a popular narrative, risk career consequences. Workplaces, too, are policing speech. HR departments encourage self-censorship, fearful of PR disasters. Employees learn quickly that speaking truthfully may cost them friendships, promotions, or even their jobs. The lesson here? Freedom of speech isn't free. It's not say what you want and nothing happens. It's say what you believe and stand ready for the fallout. That's accountability, and it's part of what separates true liberty from fantasy. Have you ever felt pressured to stay silent at school or at work? Comment below. Your experience matters. Cancel culture is the ultimate consequence machine. And here's the harsh reality. It's not about illegal speech. It's about social punishment. One tweet, one opinion, one unpopular take can cost you your reputation, your career, or even your friendships. Some argue this is justice. I argue it's power disguised as morality. The moment society learns it can punish dissent without laws, freedom dies quietly. That's why standing firm, knowing the consequences, and continuing to speak your truth anyway is critical. And the consequences aren't just personal, they shape the future of free speech for everyone. So here's the paradox. Consequences actually make speech stronger. When people know there's a cost, they think, research, and choose words more carefully. Thoughtless rants fade fast. Courageous, considered speech survives, and it inspires others. If words had no consequences, they'd lose their meaning. Accountability ensures that speaking freely isn't just a right, it's a responsibility. That's why the brave who accept the fallout are the ones who define liberty. Hit like if you agree, and comment below with a time you spoke despite backlash. It could inspire someone else to do the same. Conservative voices are scrutinized more closely because they often challenge the mainstream narrative. That's not a complaint, it's a fact. And it reinforces the principle free speech without courage is meaningless. You can't expect comfort for dissenting opinions. You must be willing to face consequences and continue speaking anyway. This is where true liberty lives, in the willingness to speak boldly, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs something. History rewards those who speak truth, even under threat. So ask yourself, would you still speak if the consequences could change your life? That question defines your commitment to freedom. History is full of examples. Martin Luther King Jr. faced jail for speaking truth. Winston Churchill risked his career to oppose appeasement. Even modern commentators face deplatforming and career risks for expressing conservative views. Consequences are part of liberty. The people who shaped freedom weren't protected from criticism. They endured it. That's why understanding the cost of speech is essential to exercising it responsibly today. Comment if there's a historical figure whose courage inspires you to speak your mind despite the risks. So, how do you defend free speech while respecting the consequences? First, know your facts. Second, choose your platforms wisely. And third, embrace accountability. Fourth, find communities that value robust dialogue. Speak boldly, but with awareness. Accepting consequences isn't weakness, it's courage. It's what separates thoughtless chatter from meaningful dialogue, and it's what keeps free speech alive in a society that tries to punish it. And remember, guys, the more you speak, the more you inspire others to do the same. And that's how liberty multiplies. Free speech is not a guarantee of comfort, popularity, or immunity. It's a right that demands courage and accountability. Speak boldly, own your words, accept the consequences, and defend your voice. That's what freedom looks like in practice, not theory. Without courage, liberty fades. Without accountability, speech loses meaning. And without speaking at all, freedom disappears quietly, one silenced voice at a time. If this video resonated at all, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share your story in the comments. Stand up, speak boldly, and own your voice, because liberty isn't given, it's defended. I'll see you next time. Bye.